A part of me really didn't want to make this video, but here we are. And despite releasing a video yesterday about how Embracer confirmed that the Knights of the Old Republic remake was still in development, a leaker in the games industry came out today claiming that the KOTOR remake had basically been scrapped. He also said that it was essentially dead and that there was no studio working on the game anymore, and that even Sony had pulled out of the situation. And of course, because of that, the entire community is going wild, and you know what, I don't blame them. All we ever get is negative news surrounding this game, despite the fact that Embracer literally confirmed it was still in development yesterday, which, by the way, the gaming media didn't report on. They conveniently ignored it so they could report on the CEO's comments. But I feel like you guys deserve to know about this leak, because I'm sure there's some of you that are going to see that the KOTOR remake is cancelled, is trending on Twitter and whatnot. You may then see my video, or you may see that video after or before, I don't know, and then you might get angry because it might seem like I've lied or been dishonest, or you may be really confused. Hell, I've been attacked on social media today, unsurprisingly, from many angry folk who saw my video and then saw the drama no less than 24 hours later. So I feel it's only fair to you as my audience, as my community, and kind of fair to me to clear things up and talk about this and clarify things a little bit. And I also want to make it very clear that I am just as frustrated and I am just as sad and angry at how badly everything has been dealt with surrounding this game. It's mind-boggling. Like, Knights of the Old Republic really does seem to be cursed. But anyway, now, if you've been a part of this channel for any period of time, you will know that I'm really against how games journalism works nowadays. There's no actual consideration for the information. There's no real attempt at digging or learning the truth. It is just the regurgitation of other people's headlines. And so today, when this leaker claimed that the Knights of the Old Republic remake was not being worked on, every single major publication, a major games influencer or games Twitter account has jumped on this like sharks to blood. The KOTOR remake is dead, it's done, it's over, and it's often in big, bold letters on a website or a Twitter post or a video, you name it, but that is what draws attention. It's not the honest journalism, and it's actually a disservice to people that just want the honest information. Now, I can't say this for every single games journalist out there because there are some really good ones. However, so many games journalists, as I mentioned, are electing to ignore something very important, and that is exactly what I brought up in yesterday's video. Embracer, the company that are literally funding KOTOR, stated in their interim report for Q3 this fiscal year that the Knights of the Old Republic remake is still in development, literally as of yesterday. This isn't me giving you inside information, this isn't me making some bullshit up, this isn't me chatting out of my arse, this is an objective public fact released by the company that are funding it. Past games that were in Embracer's development pipeline were not on that list. Several games that Embracer announced as being in development earlier this year were removed from that list, and we can only assume that they are no longer in development, or at the very least they're not being supported by Embracer anymore as a part of their studio restructuring. However, I do have to own up and say that I made a mistake in yesterday's video in the specific games that were missing. Two of the games that I mentioned, Bloodless and Twisted Tower, are still in development. However, that doesn't change the validity of the point that I'm making. Games such as Combat Champions, Gangs of Sherwood, Chrysol, Theatre of Idols are all scrubbed from the list as of yesterday. And so this, at the very least, suggests that Embracer update their interim reports and the games that are still in development and the games that they have in their pipeline on a fiscal quarter basis publicly. And as of yesterday, November 16th, actually it might be 2 days ago, it might be the 18th by the time this video is released, They confirmed that the Knights of the Old Republic remake was still in development and being published by an external label and being developed by an Embracer-owned studio. This is Embracer's words, not mine. I'm not leaking this. This is public information. Now, of course, you are well within your right to believe a leaker over a company. That is, of course, down to you. If you choose to believe that Jeff Grubb saying this game is cancelled or, not being worked on anymore is more credible than the actual company, then more power to you, that's your prerogative. However, when I talk about the state and the dishonesty of gaming media, it is exactly because of things like this. Most publications and most influencers will elect to ignore these facts in favour of a big, bold, brazen headline that is going to get your attention. Because let's be honest, do you really care about Embracer's fiscal report? Do you care about reading a bunch of documents? Of course you don't. That's what you have games journalists for, who go through this stuff for you and then give you that in concise information. But many people aren't going to click on an article or a video that talks about the fiscal reporting of a media holdings company. And they know that. And they know the only way that the majority of folk are going to click on their stuff is with misdirection and buzzwords that are going to really stir up feelings within inside you. And like I said, I have really been scrutinized today, and it is frustrating to me because these games journalists that are feeding you with these headlines that are designed to evoke an emotional response from you and not give you the full and honest picture, they don't want you to know that the company itself essentially confirmed that the game was still in development, regardless of whether you want to type hopium or copium or not. I'm just telling you what is public and what is the only official truth we have on this game. They don't want you to know about the fiscal reporting and all of the documents. They just want you to know that the CEO chose not to comment on it, and if the CEO chose not to comment on it, well, that must mean very bad things, right? And I'm not trying to say I'm Nostradamus, but the irony is I literally said in yesterday's video that the gaming media would do exactly this, and it happened no more than 24 hours later. My Twitter and my DMs and my comments have been swarmed with people angry at me. And look, don't get me wrong, I understand that anger is a natural response here. We have been going through so much turbulence in regards to the KOTOR Remake that it just feels like constant shit. But all I have done is made a video about the public and objective information. But because a leaker spoke out about something that he believes is true, the industry has just doubled down on that and is just screaming doom and woe. But I understand, like I said, I am angry too. I am sad, I am frustrated. I love Knights of the Old Republic. These games are so important to me and I want to see this franchise revitalized. And I understand you, I understand why you feel such frustration. My channel has become some kind of, unofficial beacon of information about the game for hundreds of thousands of people. And so where there is doom and gloom in the media, people come to me with that semblance of hope because I have been very optimistic, perhaps too hopeful. But hell, at the end of the day, isn't that one of the core themes of Star Wars? Now, I want to make it very clear that I'm not challenging the credibility of this leak. No. I don't know the truth. This leak could be totally true. It could be total BS. My anger is not at the leaker, but the media that are treating this leak as a fact by regurgitating these words as some kind of objective truth. Saying that, I even found it really, really weird when media articles would quote me as some kind of reliable source in their articles when I reported about insider information on the KOTOR Remake last year because I had friends inside of Aspire. Friends who were angry at some of the other leaks and wanted to challenge those leaks with their truth. Friends who wanted the public to know about all of the awesome things that Aspire had planned for Knights of the Old Republic, such as a trilogy of games, the combat changes, all of the minigames, the voice actors and whatnot, before it got snapped away from them. But I can only speak for the developers that I am friends with, and for the KOTOR Remake that was at a totally different studio. And I always made it abundantly clear in every video that I made that you should doubt me. Unless it's official, unless it's public, always make sure that you have a grain of salt. It was on me to prove that the things I was saying were true when the game came out. And so when these publications were quoting me in their articles as a reliable source, I just kind of laughed, because I wasn't a reliable source, not until some of the things I had said had at least been proven. Now I probably can't, but that was a risk I was willing to take, so you guys knew what was going on. But it again just kind of proves my point that games journalism is a very iffy thing. Leakers are never 100% credible, they never get everything right, and so to always take their word as truth is just odd to me. But also, just a little tangent for those of you that were attacking me saying that I was making it all up. Do you not think that I would still be doing that? If I made everything I said up about the KOTOR Remake, do you not think I would still be making it up about Saber? Of course I would, that would get me views, I know it would. But I'm not going to do that because it's not true and it's not honest towards my community. I can't speak about the KOTOR Remake as it is today because I know nothing. I only knew what it was a year ago. However, we might talk about this in another video, but Aspire did come out recently and say that the reason the KOTOR 2 DLC was delayed on Switch was because of a legal implication and that it was being blocked by another party, which is very much in line with what I told you guys like 11 months ago. So take that how you will. But either way, circling back, the fact is the company that have funded this game have said that it is still in development publicly. And when the CEO was asked about it, he was jovial and he was in good spirits and he was laughing. And yes, that could mean many things, and yes, it doesn't confirm anything, and you are well within your right to read into that however you choose to. But that is just what happened. But the fact that Embracer confirmed it's still in development is the objective truth. That is what we know. And when you see the outcry on social media, know that it's because people have been baited on an emotional level by headlines designed to do so. And I'm not saying the KOTOR Remake is in a good way by any stretch, absolutely not. For all I know, this leak could genuinely be true and the game is utterly screwed. It's had so many problems up until this point that it wouldn't shock me. And would a big corporation lie about a game still being in development to keep their shareholders happy? Very possible. But there are many angles at which you can look at this situation. You can look at it negatively, you can look at it with anger and emotion, you can look at it with sadness, you can look at it with optimism and hope. At the end of the day, that's just how you're going to choose to do things as a person. And to be honest, I don't even know what the purpose of this video was, but I just wanted to talk about this situation, I guess. I wanted to vent a little bit of my frustration and offer you guys a broader perspective on things. I got a lot of messages from people asking me to speak on this, so this is all I've got. But at the end of the day, regardless of what happens with the Knights of the Old Republic remake, and the Old Republic in general, I really do hope you guys choose to stick around, because this channel is all about the thing we love, Star Wars and Knights of the Old Republic, and it will continue to be that. And if you want to be part of this wonderful community, perhaps consider hitting the subscribe button. I would also say go and watch yesterday's video, I'll put that in a card. However, in the spirit of KOTOR goodness, I think you should go and watch this video. It's an in-depth look on why Revan's redemption was a dark, dark lie. I'll see you there.